Here are top 5 skills that you would need as an upcoming or you are trying to go into the fashion industry or own a clothing brand. Hello everyone, my name is Pamela Azemobo and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 skills that you would need as a fashion designer going up in the fashion industry. You might be asking, if I'm going into the fashion industry, I want to be a fashion designer, what are the skills that I would need to have in for going into the fashion industry? The first skill is sewing mastery. Sewing mastery is important because you must understand how to construct garments. I don't think there's any fashion designer that outside that fashion designers and don't know how to construct. Sewing mastery is an important skill you need to have as a fashion designer, because as a fashion designer, even if you have tailors working for you, you also have to have at the back of your mind that these people can decide to disappoint you. So what if you've collected clients' clothes and you are not able to deliver these clothes because you don't have sewing mastery, you don't understand how to cut and construct a garment. So sewing mastery is an important skill that you will need to have as a fashion or an upcoming fashion designer. The second skill is pattern drafting and garment fitting. Apart from the numerous benefits pattern drafting have, one of the key benefits of pattern drafting is be able to create unique designs that necessarily people have not even seen out there. The pattern drafting helps in such a way that these designs are done on pattern, that is on paper. For those of you who don't understand what pattern drafting is, the pattern draftings are patterns that are done on paper with the use of different body measurements, with people's body measurements in layman's term, if I'm to put it in that way. So you are going to take people's body measurements. Instead of cutting them on the fabric, you're going to place them, do them on paper. Now there are different various techniques of doing the pattern drafting, and we're not going into that today. But pattern drafting skill is an important skill because it helps you come up with unique and different design concepts. So the pattern drafting is an important skill that you would need to have as a fashion designer, because outside of that, it help you not to for your designs to be easily replicated. So it is important that as a fashion designer, the pattern drafting skill is a skill that you should acquire, because apart from even the learning also of pattern drafting to create unique design, it also ensures for accurate fitting. So these are one or two of the benefits of knowing the pattern drafting. The second skill is fashion illustration. Imagine you having a beautiful design in your head and you are not effectively able to communicate this design to your customers. It will be extremely difficult. This is where fashion illustration comes into play. The fashion illustration is an important skill and a lot of fashion designers underestimate it. But most times, if a design is not communicated effectively, you will start to have issues with your clients. That is where fashion illustration comes into play. Understanding how to draw, sketch, how colors work, understanding how drawing works, how colors work, how sketching works is also an important tool that you need to have as a fashion designer. So this is where fashion illustration comes into play. You must be able to communicate, because it's a way of communicating the design to your customers or to your clients. This skill is not really necessarily people underplay it or people downplay it, but as a fashion designer, the fashion illustration skill is an important skill you would need to have. Textile knowledge and fabric selection. Textile knowledge, there are different kinds of fabric we have out there. Imagine drawing out a design or sketching out a design and you don't understand fabric knowledge. So there are certain styles that go for certain kinds of fabric, because most fabric, they have the way they form, they have the way they move, they have the way it was created. So know how to design, and you don't have knowledge in textile fabrics or textile selection, you will start to struggle a whole lot, because most design they move, they are not necessarily fitting for certain kinds of fabric. So it is very important that as a upcoming fashion designer or as a fashion designer, textile knowledge is a skill you should acquire. Different types of categories of fabric. We have natural fiber, we have artificial fibers. You know, different segments or different segments of the textile knowledge. So understanding how these fabrics they move is very important as an upcoming fashion designer. The fifth skill is understanding business acumen. Understanding business acumen, it helps with branding, marketing, pricing. You can't just go into the fashion industry without understanding how the business aspect of fashion works. So before going into or before launching that brand, it is important that you know how the business side of fashion works. If not, you'll be running the business and you'll be running at a loss, or you'll be running the business and you will not even know what exactly you are doing. So understanding the business aspect of fashion is an important skill. I won't say the only important skill, but an important skill that you will also need to acquire or learn before going into the fashion industry. So these are the 5 skills you will need to have as an upcoming fashion designer or as a fashion designer that is thinking of going into the fashion industry. I will catch you guys in my next video.